Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is Dr. DeShavo. Welcome to PATH, Advanced Pathophysiology, spring of 2024. So I have the class open. As you can see, I'd like to walk you through it. Save this video for future reference. I'm going to cover a ton of material. And quite often, if you have a question on how to use this course, it's in here. If you have questions on content, by all means, email your professor. All right, so as we get in here, we will get started. First of all, this gives course objectives. Online, sorry, I didn't realize that was a clickable link. Online course features you can read through on your own. Syllabus I'm going to bring up because there's been a slight change in grading. So your book you can buy if you like. You might want to wait and work your way through the notes first. Quite often students find that the notes are enough, but there are some occasional questions from the book. I kind of do that for my A students. So if you want an A, get the book and read it. Okay, there's a breakdown of the material. There's almost a quiz every week. There's not one of the weeks that you have exams. I'm going to be sending you weekly emails on what is being covered. So we'll kind of do that week by week. There's two major exams, a midterm and a final. They will be week 4 and 8. You have case studies, pardon me, and then you have one that's kind of like a build your own. So you have guided case studies and then one that you do on your own. Once again, we'll go through all the directions week by week. This is just an overview. Okay, and this is a little bit more in-depth explanation of that. All exams run Wednesdays. You can see that for midterm and final from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. We do this to help you because this is when you'll be able to get help from the company best. We've found when we've kept them open overnight, you don't have as many managers on staff overnight. You don't have as much help, and students tend to have more problems. Okay. And then all the other content will be due weekly. Like I said, I will send you that information. We also will hold one synchronous session coming up next week, Wednesday evening at 7 p.m. It's ungraded, but it's going to help you to get through the material. Please don't use AI in your coursework, okay? When you submit the work, we can tell. I've seen people who can write better than me, and I have my doctorate. Not that I'm the smartest cookie in the box, but please, we can tell when you are writing with AI. Just use your own words, okay? Do your own work. Prove to us that you're going to be an excellent nurse, okay? Here is the information and how we meet that. You can read through that on your own. Okay, now, graduate grading policy. You need a B to pass this class. So if you fail it, you could retake it one time. That's it. It used to be that below the B, it went to an F. They are allotting a C now to help your overall GPA, but that doesn't mean you pass the class. You do need a B and above to pass the class. And I'll tell you right now, I'm pretty strict on that. You know, I'm not going to round a couple points. I've had students reach out, it's only a couple points. Yeah, but you had the entire semester to get your grade up. A, and B, we're looking for students who are going to achieve high grades and apply themselves and do well. It's more than just the B or the A, it's knowing the material. That's what we want. I'm getting old. I want to know that you're going to be able to take care of me. So please make note of that. Okay. A lot of that is the generalized syllabus information you could kind of walk through on your own. Let me get back to the main content here. Just a second. I apologize. My computer is really slow today. Okay. So that's the general gist of the syllabus. The course schedule is there. I find it easier to look at the course schedule as it's listed out in the course itself. And I will show you what I mean. If you come down, every module I've put the dates. And a module equates to a week. So you could pop in there and see. And as I told you, the midterm will be module / week 4. The final will be module / week 8 on Wednesday between 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. Okay, assignment support. Okay. VoiceThread case study rubric, critical thinking rubric. We want you to be thinking critically. How to use VoiceThread, APA resources. You can see these are all resources in case you get stuck somewhere. Okay. So for the VoiceThreads, take this rubric, print it off, and make sure you do it every time. I've given you everything you need in here in a couple different ways to get the points. If you don't follow this, it will take points off. Okay. Please state your resources. I'm a little lenient with this, but this is helpful because then I know you've gotten your 2 resources. Sometimes people say it in the middle of their presentation, gets a little lost. Okay. State your resources in the beginning of your presentation. So basically what these case studies are they are a presentation, and we'll guide you through them with questions in each module, and you will put together a presentation to put on VoiceThread, and then you will respond to 2 other case studies, sort of commenting on that student's work. If we come down here, so description of the rubric, you will have 2 resources for your case study itself, and that's what we're talking about here. Only one of them can be from your text. Okay. You need to show a thorough understanding. So you can't just generate something and read it. You need to put it together in your own words and present it. The presentation for the case study, so your initial case study should be 3 to 5 minutes. It must be posted by Wednesday of that week, giving other students a chance to respond by Sunday. Okay. So here's a breakdown of the weekly points, or the points for the weekly assignments. This case study, and I'll show you a case study in one of the weeks, so you can kind of put that together. Understand the material and apply it. Have a diagnosis. Be within 3 to 5 minutes. You can see all the points that are correlated with this. Content is compiled in a presentation that's in your own words, not just read from the notes. 2 or more resources. Now, here's the thing. They need to be recent. They need to be peer review. They cannot be a website. No websites. If there is a website, quite often you can find the peer review article that they use. You can get into that, but don't just say WebMD. We will take points off for that. Okay. That's a general gist for the case study. The response, there's 2 of them. Don't forget, respond to 2. Okay. Respond to a student's post that's different from yours. Every week, you'll have a choice of 3 case studies. So you will present with 1 case study, respond to the other 2. Provide a diagnosis, a differential diagnosis. So that means, if you have a skin rash, it could be a couple different things. If it is scabies, what's another option? What's a differential diagnosis for that? Okay. Responses must add your assessment of the case study diagnosed. Don't reiterate what that person has said. Don't make the comments like, oh, really good job, Susie, you had a nice sweater on. We want you to get into the meat of the material and show us that you're engaging with that material. Okay. Provide with responses, you'll need 1 to 2 cited resources. Once again, current, not a website, peer reviewed. They must be 1 to 3 minutes. Okay. Response to, it's the same thing, but you need to respond to 2 every week. Okay. We'll look at those case studies when we get into the weekly work. If I were you, I would just print that off. That way you know every week what you have to cover. and it's right there. Follow that rubric or that template and you should be good to go. Okay, so online, okay, examining. Very important, very, very important. Do not sign up for your exams until we tell you, okay? We need to get it set on our end and then you could sign up for it, okay? So make note of that. We will let you know. There are steps that are integrated into the course that you'll be able to follow. You'll create a profile, you'll schedule your exam, you'll take your exam, okay? This is Examinee's test taking guide. That is helpful. However, here is Utica's proctor exam policy. This is also important, okay? This is the nursing department's policy. You need to follow this to a T. So make note of this. This shows you how to create a profile, how to schedule, and here are the exam rules, okay? Technical requirements. You got to use Mozilla or Google. Laptop, you cannot use a Chromebook, a tablet, or an iPad. Okay, I've already had students have problems with that. Same thing for MacBook. I'm sorry, that's just how it goes. Okay, not wireless mouse, need to be wired. You have to use an external webcam. You could click on an example there. Kind of share equipment, identical IP addresses. It'll be considered a breach of academic integrity. No cell phones. It used to be that we used cell phones to scan the surface. It now says no cell phones. No VPNs. You have to use your own Zoom account. So I really, really recommend you clean up your computer, make sure Zoom is working, make sure no extra programs are working, really make sure that you're prepared for it. We do not do reviews of the midterm or final. Now, I know you're thinking, well, then how do I learn? Just email us. We are more than happy to review the topics you must review. We don't allow reviews of the exams in order to try to keep the integrity of the exams. If you're having trouble with questions, we can make up or use even old test quiz questions to review, but we will not open the midterm or the final. I cannot emphasize this enough. Set up a crap ton of extra time before the exam. There, for 99.9% of the time, things go great. There is that 1% of the time there's issues. If you give yourself that extra time, then you won't be stressed. You know, I've had people do it right before they go into work and then they get stuck and they can't go into work or take the exam, okay? So, I mean, set up time 20, 30. I tell people just give yourself hours, you know, to take it, to set up. It probably won't be hours, but why stress yourself out? Exam will shut off at 7, so you really need to start it at about 5. No exam scheduled after 5. I was going to say 5:30. I didn't notice it there. So nothing after 5. Okay. We went over that. Exam 7 is 7. You must be alone. You must have a clear desk exam area. No tablecloths. Connect to a power source. No smartwatches. Oh, Google glasses. Yeah, didn't think about that. That is something to think about. No dual monitor. Can't leave your seat. Can't talk. Okay, you can only talk to the proctor. Got to keep your webcam on. Proctor has to be able to see you. No baseball caps, hats, or scarves. Religious garb is acceptable. I do ask if you're comfortable, and if you're not, please email me to show me your ears. You know, somebody could have a scarf on with something underneath, and I hope nobody is cheating, but we need to be thorough. No earbuds or headphones, and it's only females teaching this class. So if you do have religious garb that covers your ear, please reach out to your professor so we can work that out with you. No whiteboards, no bathroom breaks, no calculators, no bottles, nothing. You just can't have anything around, okay? You will need a large handheld mirror. Okay, there's a little handheld mirror. What you'll do is you will show the surface of your computer with that. You cannot have a webcam that's smart. It just needs to be the regular plug-in, okay? And you will need a separate one to show the surface of the area you are working. And there are some examples in there. Okay, and you could read through the rest of that. So very strict rules, very, very strict rules. Once again, I go as far as printing that off, so you have a copy of that. And that is different from the first guide. So make sure you look at the one that Utica College created. We're almost there. It's all this preparatory stuff that's difficult. Okay. Okay, synchronous session. We will have a synchronous session Wednesday. You will click here. That is Wednesday. I believe it's the 17th from 7 p.m. Eastern Time to 9 p.m. I don't think that's posted yet, but that's okay. You will have the link for that. During that session, we will review how to navigate the course and answer any questions that you have. And I'm always available. I am going to hold office hours. I'll post that in the first announcement. Those are during the week, but of course, if you have questions, email me. I'm on my email like all the time. I'm more than happy to help. Now we get into the meat and potatoes. Every week is pretty much set up the same. And if you come in, you'll see the topic, learning objectives, your voice thread. This is a little bit different. I believe these are the directions on how to post your introduction and posting a voice thread. And then down a little bit further is the voice threads themselves, okay? Dealing with the content of the week, okay? Now, let me do one quick thing while I'm here. I'm putting it on student view so you don't see everything that I see. Okay, so in here, so this is the introductory voice thread. So instructions, you'll post it here. Module 1, reading and media. This is where the notes are. It's named kind of funny. They're called slide decks. These are just PowerPoints. So if I click on that, oh, this isn't going to come up right for me. I have a problem with my computer. I keep not fixing it. Let me see if it comes up right. Yeah, if you click on it, you'll be fine, okay? It'll show up chapter 1 PowerPoints, chapter 13 PowerPoints. But once again, slide deck is where the PowerPoints are. Okay. There's a couple of videos that I've posted for things that I thought were helpful to review for you, and some illustrations that help as well. And I reference them in the lectures. Okay, so reading and media is where you get your PowerPoints. And then here's the weekly lectures. We try to keep them a little bit shorter. That's why there's so many of them. If you click on them, it'll bring it to a video of me lecturing. And there are questions interspersed throughout the video to try to keep your attention, hopefully. And those are not with any points, just as a side note. And then you could kind of pop around according to what you need to review. But I would print the notes, get through all the lectures once, sit there, make sure you understand it, and memorize things as best as you can. You really want to memorize things as if you're going to come and recite them to me. All right. Flashcards are not worth points. They are in the grade book. It just shows me who's completed them. You can complete them if you want. You don't have to if you don't want to, but I think they're kind of fun. Come in here. You look at the question, do the answer, move on. Just gives you yet another option to review the material. In addition to the weekly work, you will first do attestation in week 1. You only have to do this once. Once you do that, then you can move on to your voice thread. Your voice thread are those case studies that I spoke about. You will click on there, come down, choose the case study that you want, and then you will respond to the other 2. So you will post your voice thread and then choose 2 other ones, the other 2 that you didn't choose, to respond to using those directions. And you could see that we kind of guide you with questions with those voice threads. And here's the directions on how to do the voice thread video, and then that's where you do the voice thread. So if I click on this one more time, you'll see that the case study is laid out for you. It gives you information, read through it, process it, answer these questions using 2 resources, make a 3 to 5 minute video, and then respond to 2 other people's case studies. Okay? Yeah, the last thing you have to do is your weekly quiz. Okay? Week 1, 2, 3, you have a quiz. Week 5, 6, and 7, you'll have a quiz. Week 4 and 8, you have your midterm and your final. Okay? And that's it. Sorry it was such a long video. I felt like there was a lot of things to review. Once again, I know it's a lot, but we'll be walking you through week by week. If you have any questions, always feel free to reach out. And thank you for your time. Welcome to PATH.